The 25th of March. I'm in London, Ontario. About a week ago, or a couple weeks ago now, I guess, I decided to book random flights to Guatemala. My birthday's coming up at the end of the month, March 31st, and I didn't want to break the tradition of not being somewhere for my birthday. For the past 3 years, I've been somewhere abroad for my birthday. Book flights, I go somewhere warm, I go somewhere out of my comfort zone, surround myself with a bunch of strangers, start to learn about the country while I'm there. I never do any research before, and it's always been just a birthday treat to myself and another peg in the chapter of growing, forcing myself out of my comfort zone and growing. This year, however, it wasn't scary at all. So I booked the ticket. I know nothing about Guatemala. I have a lot less money in my bank account than I planned. I'm not worried about landing in a foreign country. I'm not worried about how I'll survive out there because I've done it so many times before. It's no longer out of my comfort zone. It's way in my joy zone. I love doing it, and it'll force me into uncomfortable situations that I love to thrive in, but the whole experience is right in my comfort zone. A couple days ago, I had the bright idea to do a water fast during this trip. I'm not one who's fasted in the past. I've done a lot of other things with my body. I'm very comfortable with listening to my body, so it's something that I've always been interested in. And I've actually had a group of friends that did one a week and a half ago that really kind of re-cemented the idea in my head. I wanted to do it with them. I saw the Facebook post, but I just filled it with so many other excuses that it never ended up happening. I saw the Facebook post a little too late, so I couldn't do it with the group. It just wasn't the right timing because I'm coming off of the head injury. It just wasn't the right timing because I'm coming off of the head injury. Wasn't the right timing because I'm coming off of the head injury and just getting back to my optimal health. It's the right time. I'll wait until it's the right time. It's the right moment. And I realized that I was just filling it with these excuses over something that I was actually really afraid of doing, was this water fast. And it got to the point where over the past week, I've been fantasizing about someday doing it, about making content with it, doing travel videos where I challenge somebody to eat vegan for a week in a foreign country, and then they challenge me to do a water fast, and it just seemed so hard and unattainable. That excited me, and the more I thought about it, about these scenarios, about this day off in the future, the more I realized that this is what I need to do to challenge myself right now. It must have been Saturday, I finally realized, like, yeah, this is what I have to be doing now. So I started planning on how I can set myself up for the most success on Saturday. And then Sunday, yesterday, I was doing a lot more research and just fully committed to doing this. Scheduling doctor's visits right before I leave and making sure I have the proper supplements and all that type of thing, and slowly restricting my calorie intake and going to just fruits and vegetables and making sure I'm getting my water. And the coolest thing happened yesterday. As I was doing the research for it, sitting on my laptop, I got a notification from one of the people that was my group of friends that did this a week and a half ago, and then it completely left my mind that they were doing it, or to check in on how it went for them, because they did a 7-day water fast, and they had their accomplishment meal. So it was a picture of all of them out together. Majority of them completed the fast, or everybody did their version of the fast, right? And it was so powerful because I was like, that's beautiful. That's the validation I needed. That's the extra little bit of things lining up to prove that this is what I need to be doing. And yeah, when you look at it, at the big picture of what I'm doing, it makes zero sense. And that's what excites me the most, is I am coming off of a traumatic brain injury, a major concussion. I'm finally back to a place where I'm improving every day. I'm back to a functioning version of myself. That's only been for maybe the past 4 months. I took those 4 months and I worked. I took all the money I made from working and I pushed it towards travel to reward myself, or yoga classes, just all things toward myself. Even though I have piling debts, I needed to take my first little bit of income back into the world and put it back into me to continue this journey of growth and this journey of recovery. So it's kind of crazy that I'm deciding to do my first big water fast with that injury, I'm doing it in a foreign country on a trip to Guatemala. I'm putting so much more stress on my plate while I'm doing it. It won't be a restful trip. I'll be out in the sun, I'll be sweating, I'll be doing exercise. I'm really setting myself up for failure on paper. However, the really cool thing and why it fits so well is this trip is about doing something very personal for myself and my body, and having a really personal relationship and listening to my body, regardless of whether I was doing this water fast or not. But what this water fast allows me to do is I'll be forced to think about my body in everyday decisions. Every time somebody asks me why I just have a water bottle when we're out for dinner, it'll be a conversation about my body. It'll be a check-in every morning about my body. Am I dehydrated? Am I drinking too much water? How does my head feel? How's my concussion symptoms? Because ultimately, I'm putting a marker for a 10-day fast is kind of the goal. However, I'm realistic in 4 days out, I may be experiencing too severe symptoms to continue. And I really think the only way that I'll stop is by having a realistic approach to how my head feels. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to it fully. I don't know how much of this video I'll use. I'll probably chop it up and use certain sections. But the whole point of this video was to kind of put a touch in as to where I'm at today. So it's Monday. I fly in 2 days. I've been preparing for this fast for 2 days already. So I'll have 4 days of preparation before I fly, excuse me. And how I've been preparing is, it was mostly research the first 2 days. Yesterday, I slowly started restricting my calorie intake. But today, I've been testing my salt water. So one big takeaway I got from the boys that did it last week is that I need to supplement for success. And so today, I did a little bit more research, got the tips from them. And basically what I'm going with is I'm aiming for this holds about a liter of water, just over a liter of water. I'm gonna drink 3 to 4 of these a day. Right first thing in the morning, I'm gonna fill it with 1 liter of Himalayan sea salt and magnesium citrate water. So it's just these hard rock sea salt, these pink sea salts, and 3 teaspoons of that and 2 teaspoons of this magnesium citrate that's from the health food store. Poured it in here. I tried it and I realized how much I do not like the taste of salt. I never have been a salt guy. I very rarely eat salt and I don't like the flavor of salt. So this has been hard going down. I drank about half of it and I've hit like a wall with it. But then I remembered about this stuff and I added that in. And this has a nice organic raspberry lemon flavor to it, which kind of cuts the salt a bit, which is nice, and I'll look forward to it. But one thing I really did notice is how today's a food day. Today's a food day, but it'll mostly be fruit, which I'll be eating. And same with tomorrow. It'll be fruit and this stuff. And then on Wednesday is where I'll completely stop eating food. This mixture and then pure water. Today, while I was walking around drinking the first half of this, I was so energized and so excited to do this. I'm sure that'll drop off when the hunger pains start hitting. But right now I'm pumped. I was like walking around the house singing. I haven't done that in months, very long time. But I was just pumped and bouncing, and I don't feel hungry at all. And I will be eating fruit. I actually have a pear right here. But yeah, it's gonna be a cool experience. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm very optimistic at the beginning. Nervous, super nervous, which makes me so happy because I haven't been nervous in a long time, and that's what challenges you to break down fear. So yeah, big takeaways. This stuff tastes terrible right now, but I can kind of see me in the future pulling towards this when I haven't had anything in my system, and looking forward to this drink at the beginning of the day because it has like flavor to it. As though it's not my flavor, I don't like it right now. I can see myself loving this in a couple of days. So that's kind of one of my predictions. That's about it. I got, after I'm done eating this pear here and getting the rest of this crap in me, this goodness in me, this positive goodness in me. I'm going to be doing some last minute running around for my trip. I got some shopping to do, gotta hit the health food store. Big thing, I have doctor's visits. That's one of the biggest things. So one of the biggest takeaways of this experience, and where in part of my research, is since I'm doing a prolonged fast, it's not a 2 to 3 day fast, I need to consult a healthcare professional that knows my personal background and can give me tips along the way. I'm a very stubborn person, so I have gone slightly against the advice of my doctors in the past. However, it's always good to still check in and get their feedback. And my family doctor is actually incredible because he knows I'm stubborn and he knows I go against the grain and push the limits of what he suggests. So he'll say statements like, "I don't suggest you do this. However, if you were going to, these are some things to look out for." And it's that second set of statements that I really value and I really keep close eye on, because I'm always about pushing my body to the limits, especially with my head injury. It's the only way that has brought me to some sense of recovery, was pushing those limits. But pushing them in a controlled way, and that's what's gotten me to the point where I am now. I spent a year and a half fighting it, where I'd go and I'd do nothing for a really long time and just like lay in bed, and I'd deteriorate and my muscles would weaken and the symptoms would get worse. And then I'd go into like a full-blown run or workout and feel great while I'm doing it, and that's why I'd power and do more and more and more. And then I'd hit that wall the next day and be out for a week again. So it was just like, it's finding that gradual way of pushing things up that I've had to learn over the past year and a half, and then the past 4 to 6 months I've finally found some form of recovery, which is great. So I'm approaching this the same way I approach all my physical feats and medical health, and I'm visiting my family doctor to get recommendations from his point of view, knowing my symptoms and knowing more because he knows my personality, and get that second set of advice where the what to look out for if you are pushing the limits. And then I'm also visiting a neurologist specialist that I've been working with for my concussion. So I'll be talking with her as well. She's a traveler, she's incredible, but to get that specialist take, I'm picking up a glucose meter today just for fun, to kind of prick my finger and document the journey along the way. And that's about it. That's everything that I'm doing today. So gotta get this in me and then go about my day and my adventures. I want to film a little bit about the process and the moments before to set yourself up for success, because a lot of times people do things like this, or they document what they're doing, but they document them doing it, and they don't document the build up to it. So what I'm doing as a build up is my research, doctor's visits, making sure I have the proper supplements, and then testing everything, field testing everything. I know I'm traveling, so this isn't something that I would have tested in Guatemala, because if it didn't work, the ratios didn't work, if I needed to get something else as far as supplements, I'd have to go do that before my trip. And it's the same thing I advocate while packing. Most of the things I'm taking on my trip are already in this bag, minus my clothes. So all the important things of my trip are in here already. I have my travel currency, my toiletries, everything's packed in there, so I know it fits and I know it works well. And what I like to do, since I travel so light with just a backpack, what I like to do before my trip is I live out of this backpack for the couple days before my trip, and that makes me know if I've forgotten something. I can throw it in, or if something doesn't work because it's too heavy or whatnot, I can take it out. And my errands today, I'll be carrying my backpack and just field testing it before I go. That's so important. I advocate everyone to do that, especially when you're backpacking with a solo pack. Live out of your backpack for the first couple days while you're at home. Carry it around. I carry it around the house. I carry it in the car. I carry it to the store. And that saved me so many times. There's that extra thing that, boom, I can fix before I leave, and it makes your trip so much more smooth. I remember one of my first trips to Europe. I had this massive backpack, and I put it on a couple hours before my flight, and we were walking through the airport, and I was like, I messed up. like 2 hours into my trip, I'm at the airport in Toronto, and I realized it's way too heavy. There's this thing poking in my back, and it was way too late to change. So that's one of the big takeaways I took, and I've advocated it ever since. Wear your pack around for the 2 days before your trip, and I guarantee you will pack less. Anyways, thanks for listening. Talk to you next time. So I have no clue why, but today I'm in one of those moods to execute on ideas I've had in the past. So it's probably because I'm recording videos and the creative juices are going with what I want to talk about and recording those videos. But it's also, there's these things that have just been sitting on my shelf, good intention things that I want to do for people in my life or people that I've interacted with that make me so excited when I think about them, but that I haven't pulled the trigger on. As I'm running around and doing errands for my trip, I'm also going to do a couple of errands to get the things I need to implement those ideas. I met this wonderful person out at a party, and she paid for a cab fare that we were supposed to split, but I didn't have cash, so I owe her like $10 in cab fare. But I figured instead of giving her the $10 back, it'd be way more fun and authentic to buy her a new hip-hop record for her record player. Talked about like dreams and goals, and she actually has a vlogging setup and YouTube camera and has put out YouTube videos, but hasn't stayed up with it. And it's one of the things we really connected on. So the idea is to just stop into a record shop, which personally I've always wanted to do. I've never really gone shopping for vinyl before, and find a cool like hip hop record and then put like a sticky note on it saying like, keep creating, get that camera out, thanks for the cab fare, and then drop it off at her work. The second thing that I'm also going to do is I've been carrying around this Blue Jays game ball. So my great grandmother, who loves the Blue Jays, diehard Blue Jays fan, a super strong woman, and I've always wanted to send her messages about how much she inspires me. And I thought, what better way to do that than to write it in a little message in permanent marker in Sharpie on a Blue Jays game ball, and then mail it to her and give her something to open, because I know how much she loves mail, and she used to send cards to us all the time, and she sends mail she's just so thoughtful, and I don't think she gets a lot of mail in return. So today I also have to write on and mail this game ball, and yeah, I'm feeling good about it. So here I am in front of the record store, and it is closed. They are closed on Mondays. So they open again 11 a.m. tomorrow. So of course, leaving everything to the last day, I'm gonna have to do it tomorrow. But on to hunt down a Sharpie, scribble this ball up, get it mailed off, and start some of my other errands. Right, so I'm leaving the health food store. I stopped recording while I was in there because my battery was low, and we were having a really long conversation about the water fast and everything that would help me. I got a bunch of goodies. She was a little worried for me, I'm not gonna lie. She kind of winced when I said 7 days, but it was extremely helpful, and really excited to hear about all the crazy things that are gonna happen in my brain during this trip. I ended up spending probably around $40 in some electrolyte packets. I got some chaga mushroom, in case I feel like I'm lacking something partway through. I might brew up some mushroom tea just as like a little treat, and then I got some good gut probiotics while I'm out there as well, and some kombucha to drink right now. But super excited, super helpful. Thanks again, Quartermaster. I just had a fantastic interaction with this lady named Lena, this cute little lady with this like golf hat and disheveled hair, and she was kind of putting herself together. She's waiting for someone to drive her somewhere, and I just said hello, and she squinted into the sun and was wondering if she knew me from somewhere. And she couldn't hear me talking from across the parking lot, so I walked over and introduced myself and just told her I was a stranger, she didn't know me, and I wished her a good day. And it turned into this mini beautiful conversation about how people don't interact enough, and she kept saying keep up the good work, and she told me about this autobiography she read about some actress's father, and it was just like, it was a beautiful, quick interaction with another human being. And it's as simple as that. Strangers aren't these scary things, they're just friends you haven't met yet, and people of all walks of life. She looked a little miserable when I interacted with her, but that's why I walked close, so she just couldn't hear me and couldn't understand, and she turned out to be the sweetest old lady ever. The sweetest lady ever. Not gonna put an age on it, but thank you, Lena. I'm gonna carry that brightness throughout the rest of my day. So one of the things that really hit home and sunk in when I was talking to the lady at the health food store there was after she kind of winced about how long I was doing the water cleanse for, the water fast for. And I'm not really looking at it like a cleanse. It's more of like this challenging thing that I just borderline don't know if my body's capable of, but really want to push to see if it is, because you don't know if you don't try, and I want to push those limits and push back those doubtful moments where I think I can't do something and either do it anyways or weigh the consequences of how I feel and shut it down. But one of the big things was she was like, you're gonna see some things. She was like, you'll see some stuff. It'll be very powerful and very heady. You'll see things. And I've heard this before about how intense it is on the head. Oh, thanks. Someone's letting me in here around this UPS truck. But about how intense it is on the head. And with my past, with my brain injury, it's going to be very interesting to see if this is something that I'm capable of doing or if this is something that's even smart to do. But I'll check in with myself on the daily and play it by ear and see how it goes. But maybe I'll see some things. Maybe I'll just really, really end up hurting my head for a bit and then eat some good food and recover from it. But the beautiful thing about this trip is there's zero expectations. And now the only expectation is to just do realistic check-ins with my head and see how it goes. It's a scary thing that I'm looking forward to. So here we go. One step closer. Health food store? Check. So I'm walking through Shoppers Drug Mart. I just delivered the baseball and I'm walking by all the food and snacks and instantly my mind went to I gotta like buy some snacks for the airplane because that's what you do when you go on an airplane, but not this time. I gotta pack some water for the airplane and I'm kind of insulted about it. But that's what getting out of your comfort zone is, I guess. I just walked by and automatically thought about food and thought about the airplane and it made me happy, and then I realized, wait, I'm only drinking water on Wednesday. But yeah, just thought I'd make a quick video about that. So it is Wednesday now. I'm currently editing this video. I just wanted to touch base real quick. I got my water and all's good, but it was funny how insulted I was in that moment. There's so many moments, especially being on the airplane, where you're offered food, snacks, or I've turned down 2 carts of food, and the airplane snack so far, I cannot overexpress how much I love snacks. I can already tell right now that this challenge is going to change my relationship with food, but I'll let you get back into the video you're watching now. The less red light, I read over the package of the probiotics and I'm happy I got them because I am on antibiotics right now and it was recommended that I get. Looked like some dude was stealing a bike over there, but it was just, he had a bunch of bags on the bike and was having a hard time lifting it up. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I'm on antibiotics. They recommend I get probiotics for the antibiotics because antibiotics like blast everything out, all that good gut flora and everything. However, now that I'm reading the package, there's things like potato starch and other ingredients in the probiotic capsules that I don't think are gonna flow with staying in keto and might defeat the purpose of the water cleanse. So I have them and I'm going to be using them for the days before my trip and leading up to my trip. The next 2 days, today, tomorrow. Yeah, that's it. Today and tomorrow. No, today, tomorrow, and no, today's Monday. So yeah, next 2 days, just today and tomorrow. So I'll take like 6 of them and try and get as much of it in me as possible. I'll take a package with me on the trip, but I'll wait until after I'm done the cleanse to start using them again. But either way, super pumped. Got some good stuff from the health food store. Add to the arsenal and put this mismatched body into shape to do something incredible, or document the learning process along the way. And that's what I'm really looking forward to. Is I'm already happy with it, because in committing to doing it, I've challenged myself to learn something new about something I didn't know before. I learned a lot about the fasting while I was doing my research, and it's something that I think I will be doing a lot more of after this challenge and after this trip, is implementing some intermittent fasting to my lifestyle and diet. But even like coming into this challenge, I think I've already decided that this will be kind of one of those one-off things that I won't be doing again. With the research I've done and the people I've talked to, it doesn't seem like something that is a game changer as far as improving health. It's just something that's a more spiritual journey and challenge to do personally. So I don't see myself doing it ever again off the whim like this. We'll see how I feel after the challenge. I'll probably definitely not want to do it again, but it might be one of those things that you only do in like a closed, planned environment with the retreat center. Anyways, check this guy out. That's the guy with the bags. He's got so much stuff piled on there. I don't even know how he ended up picking that bike back up and riding it. But like I said, I thought he was stealing it, and he was just trying to pick the bike up so he could ride. Crazy. All right, so I'm parked out front of another record store here. This is actually a place called Baker's Dozen here in London. It's like an art collective of 20 smaller stores. Of course, it's closed on a Monday, B13. There's people in there having a good time, but she closed. From here, I have a couple more errands to run as far as my trip, and then it's back home and getting on the phone with some doctors and getting that sorted. So, see you guys later. I refuse to let go of clothes, so here's a nice hole that's getting sewn up by Oma.
Oh my god.
Look at the craftsmanship. The craftswomanship.
Yeah, right.
So I just finished editing a video, and I never really know how to end these. I was gonna do like this bit where I was gonna zoom in on my crotch to prove that it was stitched properly, because I'm wearing the same pants. But there seems to be some sort of medical emergency going on in the plane, so I'm just gonna end it here, and hopefully everyone's okay, but I'll keep you guys updated in the next one. See you guys. Thanks for watching.